Fab. Let's get started in a nice seated position. Crossed legs or legs out in front of you, whatever works, or if you want to sit on a chair, that's also fine. And we'll roll the shoulders up, back and down, backs of the hands to the knees. I recommend closing the eyes at this point, bringing the focus down into the breath. And actively pushing the stomach out on your inhalation and drawing it in on your exhalation. Just checking in with how the body feels. Noticing if there's any parts of the body that feel tighter, more closed up. And visualizing, sending your breath to those areas. And let's start with a little breath of fire, just to really awaken the core and awaken the breath. So we'll do 3 rounds of breath of fire, Kapalabhati, the pumping stomach breath. So you can take a hand on here if you want to, or you can just keep it free. And we'll do around 30 quick, sharp exhalations. We'll breathe in, hold the breath for around 10 seconds, and then release through the mouth. And we'll do this for 3 rounds. And if you really want to turn it up a notch, when you hold the breath, if you squeeze your abdominals and you squeeze your pelvic floor, it gives the exercise an extra little bit of fire. So inhaling and start. Breathe in, hold the breath and squeeze for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale through the mouth. Great, we'll go again. Inhaling and pump. Breathe in, hold the breath for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale. Last round. Inhaling and breathe. Inhale, hold the breath for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale. Nice. We'll take a few spinal rotations, flipping the hands over. Inhale, chest forwards. Exhale, ribcage to the side, and then back to the side, forwards, side, and back, side, forwards, side, and back. 2 more times. Inhale, coming forwards. Exhale, coming back. This last time, stay forwards, arch the back, look up. And then we'll go around the other way. So remember which way you came, go the opposite direction. Nice rotations. And then the next time you're back, just dome and hold on to the knees, looking at your belly button. Come back up through center and we'll take a few side stretches. Inhale, lift the arms up, find prayer up above the head, pull the shoulders down here, nice. And then we'll lean over to one side. You can come down onto the elbow. You're trying to turn your chest up to the ceiling as well. Inhale, rise. Hands rejoin in prayer. Exhale, second side. Turn the chest up, stretch and reach. Inhale, rise. Interlock the hands behind the head. Open the chest up to the ceiling. Pull the elbows back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together in the middle. And then chin to chest, elbows towards one another. And open. Chin to chest. And open. And release. Nice. So if you're sitting, you're both sitting in cross-legged, aren't you? Or sitting, nice. So just shuffle your legs out a bit more in front of you. So you come into like a loose cross-legged position. This is Sukhasana, easy pose. It's a stretch for the hips, and we're going to walk the hands forwards and just fold over the legs here. You should feel the stretch around the outsides of your thighs and your hips, even going into your glutes and your lower back. Try and keep the spine as long as you can. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Great, walk the hands back up, and then we'll switch the leg that was in front. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, walk forwards and fold. Great, slowly walking yourself back up. We'll roll forwards onto hands and knees. I'm going to turn to the side. And we'll do a few cat-cows. So starting in this nice neutral position with the back. Then we'll inhale, drop the belly, broaden the shoulders, look up, find cow pose. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhaling, cow. Exhaling, cat. Last one, inhale. Exhale, cat. Inhale into cow, and we'll take the head and the hips around in 2 circles. Really pull the abdomen up and in as you dome the back. Take the head around in big circles. 3 and 4. Last one, 5. And then take the circles in the other direction. Feeling this through every inch of your spine. 2 and 3. 4 and 5. Fab. Come back to a neutral spine, and we're going to take same side shoulder to the hip, so you're squeezing, contracting through one side of the obliques and lengthening the other. Center, second side. Center, first side. This should really squeeze into your obliques here. It's a lot of work. Center, second side, sorry. Center. Engage your core, tuck your toes, and just hover your knees slightly off the ground, just doming the back ever so slightly. Really squeeze, look ahead of you slightly. Lower the knees. Sink onto your heels, but keep your toes tucked under. Backs of the hands to the knees. Looking forwards, roll the shoulders up, back and down a few times. And we're going to come again into that little core strengthener. So back onto the hands and knees. Keep the toes tucked under and just hover the knees. Squeeze the abdomen in. Really feel it. Scoop the belly button up. Lower the knees. Keep the toes tucked, sit back on the heels so you stretch into the feet. This time roll the wrists around a few times. Roll the wrists the other way. And then we'll release our feet and come down into a child's pose. So sink your forehead down, stretch your arms forwards. Release through your exhalations. Rise up back onto your tabletop, into your hands and knees. We'll take a quick downward dog, tuck the toes, lift up and back, downward dog. We're not going to stay here, we're going to step the right foot forwards and come down into a low lunge, untuck the back toes. Now just adjust your hips, make sure they're both facing forwards. And then take your hands and brace them onto the front thigh and just sink down into this hip for a nice hip opener here. Trying to keep the upper body nice and tall. And it's really up to you how low you want to sink into this. Great, we're going to add a little twisting element. So take the left hand on the inside of that front foot and just roll onto the outside of the front foot. So you're twisting your hips slightly. And you can use your right hand to roll the muscle of the thigh outwards. Great, roll back through to center. Place both hands down on your surface underneath you. And then tuck the back toes, step up and back to downward dog. And we'll take the second side. So left foot steps forward between the hands, release the right knee down, untuck the back toes, and then rise up into your lunge. bracing the hands on the front knee, and again, deciding how much you want to sink into this. Nice deep breaths. Come forwards, take the right hand on the inside of the left foot, and then we take a little twist. So we roll onto the outside of the front foot, and you can use this left hand to just roll the quad. You want to roll the quad away from you. This encourages the hip to open. Great, come back through to center. Take both hands down, tuck the back toes, lift up and back into downward dog. Bend one knee at a time, take a couple of breaths here. We're going to go into an even deeper hip opener. We're going to go into pigeon pose. So drawing your right knee forwards, placing the calf down, and basically here you want to turn your hips forwards, your back leg extends. You can either stay up on the hands, or if you want to make it more restorative, come down onto your elbows. You can even rest your head onto your hands. What you want to do is really turn your hips so they both face down, and release through your exhalations. And we're going to stay here for a good few breaths. And with each exhalation, I want you to think of something that no longer serves you. This could be a behavior pattern, it could be a habit, it could be a recurring thought, it could be something bigger, something in your life that you want to let go of, maybe even a memory. And with each exhalation, I want you to feel like you're physically releasing this thing, letting it go, and just letting it disperse into the universe. With each inhalation, you draw in new, bright, positive energy. And just visualize this as you sink into this stretch. If you're down on your forearms, slowly come up onto your hands and just start to walk the weight onto the back knee, and just roll that knee that was the front knee around in some circles, just releasing the hip. And then take the knee in the other direction. Great, we'll go to the second side, through downward dog first. So tuck the toes, lift up and back, find your downward dog. Couple of knee pedals here, bending one knee at a time. Fab, then draw the left shin forwards, take it down and find your pigeon on the left side, and work on turning the hips forwards. Either stay up on your hands or come down if you want it to be more restorative. But make sure if you are resting on your forearms, you're not putting tension into the shoulders. Relax yourself down here and breathe. And once again, we'll do this visualization practice. So conjure into your mind something you want to let go of. And with each exhalation, release. And if it helps with the release, you can release the exhalation through the mouth with a ha sound, kind of sound. And this can be quite therapeutic to hear the breath escape your body at the same time visualizing whatever this thing is leaving you. On an inhale, slowly rise up onto your hands if you're down on your forearms and start to bring the weight back into the back knee. Come onto all fours and just roll that knee around in a few big circles. And then take the knee in the other direction. Great. Sit the hips back onto the heels, lean over to one side and bring your legs in front of you. Take the soles of the feet together, but quite far from your pelvis. So you're in a wide diamond shape, otherwise known as the sacred yoni symbol, if you can see my hands. Yoni in Sanskrit means sacred space. It also happens to be the same shape as a vagina. So if you're wondering, yes, that is why we call this shape the yoni symbol. It represents a sacred space where new life can come from. We'll inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, fold over the legs, lengthen your spine over your lower body, and you're visualizing your forehead coming down to the arches of your feet if it's not there already. And we'll just sink into this hip opener for a nice few breaths. And if you want to continue with the visualization of releasing that which does not serve you, you can continue with that here. Slowly bring yourself up on an inhalation. We'll do a little bit of reverse tabletop. So bend your knees, plant your feet down. Take your hands behind your hips, fingers pointing towards the feet. We're going to lift the hips up. We're going to take 5 breaths in this reverse tabletop. On an inhale, lift and breathe. Exhale, lower. Extend the legs out in front of you, and we'll come into a seated forward fold. Really squeeze the legs together, pull your feet back in towards you. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, fold over your legs. Pull your shoulders back. And breathe. Slowly rolling up your spine, we'll go into a seated twist. Bend your right knee, step the right foot on the outside of the left. Take your right hand behind you, lift your left arm up, and then exhale, turn towards the bent knee and look behind you. And I can use my bed frame as an extra little twist here, which is nice. Really keeping the spine nice and upright. Inhale, uncurl, lift the arms, extend the right leg, and we'll go to the second side. So bending the left knee and stepping it on the outside of the right leg. Left arm comes behind you and the right arm hugs the knee in. But you really want to stay lifted straight and tall through that spine. Also, don't forget about the front foot. Keep it flexing. Fab. Inhale, uncurl. You might just want to shuffle forwards. We're going to roll down onto our back. We'll do a little core work on the back before stretches. So we'll roll down through the core, extending the arms forwards, and go as slowly as you can. Visualize your spine is like honey dripping from a spoon. Really soft, no knocks, no bumps. Just soft and slow, all the way resting down. Nice. Once you're lying flat on your back, I just want you to shuffle your feet slightly closer to your hips. We're going to do a few pelvic tucks with an engagement of the pelvic floor. So it's not a bridge. We're not lifting the hips all the way up to the ceiling. We're just contracting the hips to the ribs, the tailbone lifts, and squeeze your pelvic floor at the same time. And then inhale, release, let the lower back arch. Exhale, find this contraction, squeeze the pelvic floor. Inhale, release. Keep doing this subtle action, and I'll just talk a little bit about the pelvic floor. So most of us, men and women, go through our lives not really knowing what the pelvic floor is until we have problems with it, or until we get pregnant or have a baby. And I think we should all be educated about the pelvic floor from a very early age, because support in the pelvic floor can lead to so many wonderful things. Keep going with these tilts. It literally supports you from the inside and makes you stronger. And it can increase your health in your reproductive system and your reproductive organs as well. Take one more of these. release, and then we are going to take it into a bridge, so you can take your hands along by your sides. So find this tuck, find the squeeze, and then lift the hips, take them high, keep the pelvic floor engaged. Exhale, melt the spine down, release. Inhale, tuck and lift. Exhale, lower, release. Tuck and lift. Squeeze, lower, release. 2 more. Tuck and lift. Lower, release. Last one. Tuck and lift. Lower, release. Take the soles of the feet together. Just let the hips open. Take your hands to your abdomen and just feel the breath rising and falling. I'm just going to check on the time, see how we're doing. Great. Just rest in this reclining hip opener, and we'll do another little visualization here. So I always like to combine pelvic floor work with sacral chakra work. So the sacral chakra is the chakra in your lower abdomen, and it's represented by the color orange. So as you're lying here in this hip opener, feel your abdomen expand and contract with the breath, and visualize a bright, vibrant orange glowing brighter in this part of your center with each inhalation. And as we've done quite a lot of work on release, of letting go through the exhalation, we now have space to invite newness into our life, to invite new habits, new memories, new behaviors, new thought patterns. So I just want you to bring something into your mind that you want to introduce to your life. It could be something small like, I don't know, writing a gratitude list in the morning when you wake up, or a new food habit you want to try, to eat more fruits and veggies. Or it could be something even bigger, like you want to invite a new friendship, a new career partnership into your life. Be very specific and picture this thing in your mind as you breathe into your lower abdomen. And I'm just going to leave you in silence for a few moments, and I just want you to think of the intricacies of whatever this thing is. So if it's a new habit, bring the feeling and the emotions of how you would feel if you did this thing every day. How would it make you feel? How good would it make you feel? If it's a new relationship or a new partnership, really think about what it is you want, the specifics of what you want and how it makes you feel, and just let your body be flooded with that positive feeling of whatever this new thing brings. And I'll just leave you for a few moments to feel this goodness. Fab, then bring the knees together With this good energy flowing through your body, we'll take a twist, extend your right leg, draw your left knee in, squeeze your knee to your nose, feel that core connection, and then we'll take the left arm out to the side and drop the left knee across the body, but feeling both shoulders flat on the surface underneath you. Inhale, come back to center. Before we go on to the second side, let's take a hamstring stretch. So lengthen the top leg. You can point or flex the foot, hold on somewhere behind the leg and pull it towards you. If you want to be a little bit more gentle, you can bend the lower leg. Otherwise, keep it straight. Exhale, release the left leg, will go to the second side. So take the left leg long, draw the right knee in, squeeze knee to nose, find the core connection. Take the right arm away from you and drop the right knee over to the left and take this twist. Look away from your bent knee. Feel this wonderful release through the whole of your spine. Inhaling center. We'll go for a nice hamstring stretch, straighten that right leg, flex or point the foot. If you want to make it more gentle, bend the lower knee. And we'll breathe. Exhale, release the right leg and find Savasana. So take your legs a bit wider than your hips. Let your feet fall out to the side, arms slightly away from your torso. Palms shining up in a gesture of receiving from the practice. And I will lead you through a final meditation. I'm just going to take a sip of water. Great, so let your breath settle into a natural rhythm now. Feel your bones become heavy. and your muscles softening away from the bone. Begin by drawing attention to your feet, feeling all the muscles in your toes, the balls of your feet, and your arches, your heels softening and relaxing. Feeling the calf muscles softening away from the bone. The knee joints free from tension. Feeling the thigh muscles softening away from the bone, so both the hamstrings and the quads. The glute muscles releasing, the pelvis sinking down into the surface underneath you. Feel your pelvic floor released, the lower abdomen soft, and the lower back resting down into the mat underneath you. Feeling all the muscles in the hands softening and relaxing, all the fingers, the thumb, that large bit of muscle that connects the thumb into the palm of the hand, the palm of the hands broad and ready to receive from what the rest of the day, the rest of the weekend, the end of the month has to bring. Feeling your wrist joints free from tension, your forearms heavy, your elbow joints soft, your upper arms sinking down into the surface underneath you. The diaphragm is free and easy, allowing breath to come in and out of the lungs with ease. The heart center is open, allowing for kindness towards ourselves first and foremost, and then others. Remember, if you're not showing kindness to yourself, it's not impossible, but it's going to be hard to give that energy to everyone else. And in yogic philosophy, we are all one. We are all part of the same consciousness, the same being. And if you ascribe to this belief, then doing harm to yourself is doing harm to universal consciousness. So that's why we pay so much attention to kindness to ourselves. And also know that when you show yourself love, that energy radiates, other people feel it and they want to be near it, and they in turn want to show love for themselves. So that's why I'm such a huge self-love and self-care advocate, because I think if we lift this vibration as a community, we can go out into the world and spread this love and spread this kindness. So with a bright, shining, radiating heart center, just feel your shoulder blades resting down, the collarbones nice and broad. Feel your throat center free from tension. Really important. The throat chakra is connected to our ability to express our truth. Feel the lower jaw softening away from the upper palate and the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. All the muscles in the face soft and relaxed. The eyes are soft in the eye sockets. The forehead is free from tension. And the crown of the head is soft and open, ready to receive from universal consciousness and universal intelligence. Whatever word or name you want to give that thing that's bigger than us. It could be God, it could be source energy, it could just be the universe, the cosmos, however you want to personally word it in your own narrative, in your own world. Just feel yourself open to something bigger. Feel your entire body balanced between this sense of heaviness and stillness, yet you are not asleep. You are fully present in the room, aware of all the sensations in your body, aware of the temperature of the room, aware of sounds in and outside of the room. Perhaps even aware of the sound of your own heartbeat and your breath coming in and out of your lungs. And I'll just leave you for 1 minute in silence to absorb this sense of connection. After your next exhalation, start to draw some deeper, fuller breaths down into your abdomen, Again, pushing your stomach out on your inhalation and drawing it in on your exhalation. Gently begin to introduce some movement to your hands and your feet, starting with the fingers and toes, and then gently bringing it into wrist circles and ankle circles. On an inhale, lift your arms all the way up above your head. And for a full body stretch, I like to take my arms and legs together. And I also like to interlock middle index finger, interlock middle ring finger and little finger, and then point my index finger and my thumb, and then stretch all the way up above my head, and then point down into the feet. Inhale through the nose. Exhale with a sigh through the mouth. Inhale, draw your knees up into your chest, give yourself a hug, and rock yourself gently side to side and also backwards and forwards, just massaging your lower spine. And then on an exhale, roll onto your preferred side. Make a little rest with your arm underneath your head. And if you haven't opened your eyes, just gently open them now. And then in your own time, slowly bring yourself up into seated. And we shall take a final breath together to seal the practice. Great. So once you're in seated, we'll inhale, lift the arms up, find prayer. Exhale, bring the prayer to the center of your forehead for your thoughts and your intentions. Bring the prayer to your lips for your words and your actions. And finally, bring the prayer to your heart center for your inner world of feelings, sensations, and emotions. And we'll close by chanting the sound Om. So we'll inhale through the nose and then exhale, release with the sound of Om. Inhale. Thank you so much for joining me. Just going to switch, end the